Okay, I'm in the student mode or student view right now. So this should look really similar to what you guys see. So like over on the left side, you have your I can't remember what they call this thing, but your menu, or they call it something different. But you always have your home. Announcements are here. So if you need to go back and look in anymore, there will always be the two most recent announcements will always be here at the top. So you'll always see the two most recent. You guys probably don't have any announcements right now because y'all are B-Day. This announcement I only posted for A-Day classes like yesterday because I was out yesterday, and so I had to send them. Oh yay, the bell for lunch. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I had to send them a message yesterday with the link to go to one of the other teachers' Zoom classes so that they could log in. But so you guys probably don't have any announcements because I haven't sent any to you guys in B-Day yet. But the two most recent announcements will be posted here on the homepage at the top. If you need to view other past announcements, then you can go to the announcement link here and get them that way. Then you have your modules, which that's where the majority of what we should be doing because I have it set to where like you can't see like files or assignments or anything like that or quizzes. So you have to go to the modules to get to everything. And that's on purpose. That's because I don't want you guys just clicking on assignments and doing stuff when you haven't like viewed the lesson, because that's what a lot of people will try to do. And then you get confused and you don't know what to do. And it's because you haven't, read through or watched the videos or whatever, all the information. Then the next two things are your resources that you might need for the either tests or when you are doing your work. So there's a page here that has a link to the data booklet that you can use on any of your open-ended questions on the test, and that includes your periodic table. It has that in there too. And then there's a link to an online scientific calculator. Then you have grades. Now I will tell you the grades in Canvas may not necessarily, and in fact they won't always match what's in our grade book for self-serve, because even though the grade books are linked, there's sometimes, like for example today you're doing some practice assignments, and so with the grade in our actual grade book there's just going to be one grade. And what I did is I made each assignment worth like the discussion board, and then each of the assignments is worth a certain number of points, and it adds up to 100. So when you do, if you do all the parts, then that's how you would get your total of 100. But I'm not going to put all those individual assignments in our grade book on self-serve. I'm only going to put one assignment, and then it'll have the total. So you can't always rely on the grades in Teams, the grades in Canvas for like your average, your total average. But what that's good for is that's good for seeing your individual assignments and seeing when are they due? Is it late? Is it missing? Do I have any feedback? Do I need to go back and correct something and redo it, resubmit it? So for individual assignments, that's good to look there. And we're going to look more at grades on Friday. Self-serve though, this is the link where that's where you want to see like your actual average. So what is your total grade for like each 6 weeks in the semester? That's what's going to be in self-serve. So for like report card, progress report stuff, self-serve is where you'd see your total, your grade with your average. Okay. Then I have Rapid ID. So if you need to like reset your password, if something happens, whatever, you can't remember your login, that's here. You have a link to Google Drive and Office 365. We don't really use the Office 365. I think y'all have it, but we don't use it very much. Google Drive's here though. So if you need to access your Google Drive files for anything, that link is there. And then I added discussions. This wasn't here last semester, but I added it back on this semester because we're going to try to do maybe some discussion boards that aren't always like related to chemistry. So we might do some like weekly discussion boards where maybe we have just a random topic and it may or may not be related to chemistry. And they won't be for grades. It'll just be, for you guys to kind of discuss and talk about things. Just so that we can kind of, because it's hard for us to communicate with each other, obviously, because most of you guys are at home. Like it's just me and Kelly in the room right now. So, just kind of an idea we're going to try out just to see if that sort of helps with maybe getting you guys talking to each other or, participating a little bit more. That's not totally tied to, our subject into chemistry. Okay. So then you have kind of the homepage where I have, and there's some things you can click on here in the Google thing. You have the live lessons, which that's probably going to change. I'm probably going to take that off because I started putting them in the modules each day. And then you have your module syllabus newsletter, our class schedule. The link for the Zoom is still here like normal. And then the remind codes, if you're not in remind from last semester, then you should be able to get in this semester. For today, I'm going to go ahead and go to modules, and we're going to look at kind of what you guys are going to do today. I will tell you, Michelle and Veronica, you guys actually have a different, why is it saying unauthorized? Maybe I need to leave student view. You guys have a separate class this semester. So for Michelle and Veronica, yours up here, it should say IB Chemistry SL. And so the title is IB Chemistry SL Semester 2. For today, it looks the same because you guys are going to be doing the same assignments this week because we're doing all the kind of Canvas review stuff. But then next week, you guys will have different assignments. So that's why there's 2 separate courses so that I don't have to like separate within the course and it's not confusing to people. So just know that you guys yours should say SL, and that's the one you should be doing work in. If you're doing something in HL, then you need to let me know so that I can change it. I think I took everybody out of HL that wasn't supposed to be, but let me know. Okay, so what are we doing? Okay. So for today, I know it looks like a lot, but as I said in the little, if you watch my little video recording, it's really not a lot because it's all just Canvas refresher review stuff. So the first page here on the overview, it just has a video that kind of goes over, like it says, it's an overview. So it goes over a lot of the basics of Canvas. So some of it, a lot of it, maybe you already know, you're aware of, but maybe there's something that you weren't aware of. So it's just a few minutes long and you can kind of watch that. The next 2 are really kind of important because they're going to ask you to do something after you watch the video. So this one is updating your user settings and your profile picture. So there's a short little video and it tells you about how to customize some of your settings and how to add a profile picture. So most of the settings you're probably not going to want to adjust. The only one really that you guys would probably want to do is you might want to update your display name, not your name, not your regular name. But when you go to settings, and you'll see it in the video, there's a place where you can change what's called your display name. And so your display name is like what will show up on discussion boards. Okay. So if you go by like a nickname that you want people to call you, or you want people to use when they're speaking to you, then you can change that display name to be that and that nickname. Okay. And then the other thing is you can add a profile picture. You don't necessarily have to make it a picture of you. If you look at mine's over here. I have my little Bitmoji. So I put my Bitmoji in instead of an actual photo. So you could do that. You could do a Bitmoji icon. You could do a photo of yourself. Or if you don't want to do either of those, you could just put a photo of something you like. Because I know some of y'all last semester had photos of other things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a picture of you. But, I think it'd be nice if you put something in there, because then you don't have just your initials in your random little icon. Okay. So you'll watch the little video and then it'll show you how to do that if you don't know how, and then you can update those 2 things. And then you'll have to click mark as done at the top of the page. And then when your click mark is done, then you can go on to the next part. This one is updating notification preferences. This one's also pretty important. A lot of people last semester had a lot of problems, not a lot, but the main issue that I heard from like multiple people last semester was that everybody was really overwhelmed and like they couldn't keep up with the work. They weren't sure what to do when. They didn't know how to like communicate, how to get information, like all that kind of stuff. And so notification preferences, this is a way that you can help yourself to be able to keep up with things in your classes a little bit more easily. What happens is it's automatically set up with your AISD, your school email, but you can actually go in, and if you have a personal email that you check more often, you can link that email. Or if you're like me, like I get text notifications or what I see more often than email. So you can actually put your phone number for your cell phone in and it will send you text notifications. Okay. Now you don't want to do notifications for every single thing because there's a lot of things on here, but I recommended a few things that I think would help some of you guys. Things like announcements. That way, if a teacher posts, an announcement that you need to know, like for example, for the 8A students yesterday, I had to send them the Zoom link for the other teacher kind of last minute because I didn't get it until like yesterday morning, right before school. So I had to send that out and to make sure that they saw it. Grading. So if you want to get a notification when a grade is entered, you can do that. And then you'll know exactly like what grade you got, because when it's done, it'll send you an email or a text notification. Submission comments. So this one is like, if you submit an assignment and I grade it, I might type comments, or I might do like a video or an audio comment to give you some feedback and to let you know like, hey, you need to maybe correct this one if you want to try to raise your grade up, or hey, you didn't submit this right, I can't see it, or whatever. Whatever the issue might be. And so if you set that notification for submission comments to give you notifications, then you'll get them right away, and you'll know, oh, hey, I need to go look at that assignment for Ms. Thomas's class because I need to go fix something so I can improve my grade or whatever. A lot of people, I did some comments throughout last semester. I didn't do them like on every single assignment for every person, but I did do them on some, especially if people needed to correct things. And some people knew those comments were there and some people didn't. Some people didn't know that there was comments, and so they didn't know to go back and to redo something when I would say that. And then discussions and discussion posts. That's because we're going to have those discussion boards set up. So if you want to maybe participate with those discussion boards and get notifications when new things are posted on the boards, you could set that up for notifications as well. There are a lot of other things, and I'm going to go show y'all really quick. So in the video, it shows you kind of how to do this, but what you do is you go here to your account, because what you're going to do, let me close this really quick. So it says when you're finished updating your notification preferences, take a screenshot of them and you're going to submit it later. If you can't do a screenshot, then you can always use like your phone to take a photo of the actual like computer screen or iPad screen or whatever screen you're using. But you'll click on account, and then you'll click notifications here. And so you guys will see that I already have mine set up for both my email and my cell phone to get text messages. So I have 2 different columns. It'll add columns. So like if you wanted to put like 3 different emails, you could. Okay, I don't know why you would want to do that, but you could. So like I have one this column is my email, this column is for my text. And so like for here, you can change this. So I can click on it, and I can click, if it's the little bell, it notifies me immediately. If I do the little, looks like a calendar with a day, I get a daily summary, I can get a weekly summary, or I can turn them off. So if you notice, like I have them off for my email, I have some of them on, like for announcements, I have an immediately notifies me via text, okay? And so for you guys, what y'all would probably want to do is this one here where it says grading. That's where if you want to get notifications when grades are entered. If you want to get submission comments, so submission comments, if you want to get a notification when I do submission comments, so you would come over and you'd click on this icon, and you could change it to, you could change the email one to, oh, I'm going to get it immediately. Okay. So the texting only works for certain things. Like you can turn the text on for grading and for announcements. You can't use the text for the submission comments. You have to use email for submission comments. And you have to use the email for discussion stuff as well. And then here's the other part here, conversations. This is like if you're in your inbox, which your inbox is somewhere down over here. Oh, here it is. Your inbox is over here. It's like your email box within Canvas. And so if you want to get notifications when you get conversation messages, you can turn on notifications and you can get like an email whenever somebody messages you in Canvas, if you want to do that as well. So some of them you really probably don't need to turn on. You could leave them just off, or you could do weekly or whatever you want to do. But some of the ones I talked about, I would highly recommend maybe doing them immediate, like the grades and the announcements and the submission comments. That way you're able to keep up with things a little bit more, and you're not, forgetting things and not knowing that you need to go correct something, or that you got a low grade on something, so you might need to look at it or whatever. All right, go back to our class now. All right, so after you update your settings, you'll take a screenshot of that screen with the notification settings, just so I can see that you've kind of updated some stuff. And then you're going to actually use that screenshot later. So you'll just take it and then you'll save it, because it'll tell you to do something with it later. After you get the notification stuff done, the next part is there's a discussion board. And it's just it's how to participate in discussions. And it just tells you to, there's a prompt, you're going to respond to it and reply. And then once you reply, you'll be able to see other people's responses, and you can respond to at least 2 people. You want to do more than 2, that's fine. So this one is part of your grade for today, because I want to make sure that you guys can actually, access the discussions, you know what to do. There is a rubric. So when you log in, you'll see these 3 dots up here, and you won't have all of these things. I have all these because I'm the teacher. You guys will just have show rubric. And if you click on it, it'll show you how you're going to be graded if it's a graded discussion. So not all discussions will be graded. But if it's a grade, you can see, like, to get full marks, there's 4 parts. They're each worth 5 points because it's 20 points total. And you can read exactly what you need to do to get the full credit. So you can see what the expectations are. So your prompt for today is, what are you most excited about for 2021? And then you guys can see there's already people who've replied. A lot of people are from 8A. And so if you haven't already replied, you can do that. And then make sure you also respond to 2 people. Don't forget to go back and respond and look at other people's. The last part today is all about submitting assignments. Okay, so there's a page here where it has an overview of assignments, like what assignments are, how you access them, and all that kind of stuff. And then also the second video is kind of the really important one, because it talks about how to submit different types of assignments. So there's 4 it's going to focus on. The one we probably did the most of last semester was the file upload, because I had you guys like scan or submit like, photos or scans of your notes a lot of times. We did a few of the Google Cloud assignments, but I know some people had trouble with them occasionally. So I wanted to do kind of a practice run through today to make sure that we don't have any issues. And then the other 2, we didn't use these a lot last semester, the text entry and the media recording, but we might be using them more this semester. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew how to do them. So you'll watch the videos, because this second video goes over exactly how you submit for each one of these types. And then after this, there's 4 assignments. That's why I said it looks like there's a lot today, but I promise it's not. They're really short. So the first one's just a text assignment, and it just says that after you watch that video on how to submit, you're going to do this text assignment, and you'll on yours up here, you'll have a submit assignment, and you'll click submit, and it'll have a text box for you to type in. And your prompt is really easy. Describe your family. Okay. On this one, there is also a rubric down here. Okay, if you look down here below the information about when it's due, it tells you that it's 10 points for answering it thoroughly, and then 10 points for all kind of the grammar, spelling, complete sentences, that kind of stuff. Okay. So you'll describe your family, and you'll submit that text entry. The second one's the media recording. And on this one, I believe I asked you to describe one of your favorite things. And I gave you kind of a list to choose from, a few different things. So you can pick one of these things. If you want to talk about more than one thing, I guess you can. But you can pick one thing and then just briefly describe it a little bit, and you're going to do a recording. So on this one, when you click submit assignment, it's only going to allow you to submit a media recording, because I have it set like you can't submit a text entry on this one. So some assignments I might let you do text or a media recording, and if you feel like talking, you can talk. If you feel like typing, you can type. But for this one today, I have it set to where you can only do a media recording. And so again, down here you have your rubric, so you can read what exactly you're going to be expected to do in the media recording. On this one, I told you can do audio or video, because you can change it. It automatically pops up, I think, with video, but there's a little icon where you can change it to audio only if you don't want to be on the screen. So I had some people yesterday that left it on video. I had some people that changed it to audio and it was only sound. Just make sure that I can hear you clearly if you do the audio only, because with audio only, if I can't see you, sometimes it's harder to tell what you're saying if you're talking too fast, or if it's too low, or you're not near the microphone or whatever. So you'll click submit assignment up here, and it'll pop up with the media recorder. You can record it, and then you can watch it back if you think you need to redo it and you don't want to do submit your first try. You can redo it, and then when you're done, you'll submit that. The third one is the file upload. Okay, we did these some last semester, and so some of you guys probably are pretty familiar with this, but if you're not, what you're going to do on this one, that screenshot you took of the notification settings at the beginning of the module, you're going to submit that file. Okay. So if you took a screenshot, or if you couldn't take a screenshot, you can maybe take a picture of your screen with your phone. You will upload that file. So when you hit submit assignment, it's going to give you the option to upload a file, and you can go locate wherever you have the file saved and attach it and upload it. And then here is your rubric on this one for how you're graded, and then you'll submit it. The last thing is the Google Doc Cloud assignment. Now this one, I can't do rubrics for Google Cloud assignments. So on it, if we do these assignments, there won't ever be a rubric attached for in Canvas for me to use to grade you. So it'll probably be based on like, you know, how many things you get right on the assignment or that kind of stuff. So what it'll look like is it'll look like this. It'll have, you know, here's the description, and then it'll have a preview of the assignment down here. And what you will do is you'll click on this blue title. And when you click on that blue title, it opens it up in a new window. So it's bigger and you can see it better than that small preview. And it's what it's doing is it's forcing a copy. It's making you your own copy that you can write on and edit, okay, or you can type on. And you'll follow the directions for today. They're pretty straightforward. It's just doing some of the basic functions in Google Slides so that if you guys aren't used to them, you can get used to them so that if we do more assignments like this, you know what to do. And they're pretty basic, easy things. And for each one, there's also a little tutorial video. So if you're not sure how to do it, you can watch the little video that's on the slide. But I mean, when I say they're simple, like they're pretty simple. This first one, it's click and type in a text box, okay? So if you don't know how to click and type in a text box, you can watch this little video for how. The second one is dragging photos. So you're clicking and dragging objects because you may have to do that sometimes on assignments on Google Slides. The second one is drawing lines to like connect things, okay? So it shows you again in the video how to do that. The third one is how to deal with shapes and colors, like how to use the paint tool to fill in colors or do shapes, that kind of stuff. The sixth one is using tracing lines. So you will kind of draw. So if you're on like a phone or an iPad, it's really easy to do this with your finger. If you're doing it on a computer, use your trackpad, use your mouse. Like if it's not a perfectly straight line over these, you know, traced lines that you're going to do, it's fine. Okay. The next one is, let's see, what is it? Oh, inserting a picture and then resizing it. Okay, so it's going to have you resize it to where it only takes up this little gray box right here and not any bigger or smaller. So adding pictures, resizing them. And then the last one is how to change your text. So change it to a different font, change the font size, make it bold or underline, that kind of, or italicized. And then the last part, it has kind of, you put everything together. So it's going to have you do, you'll read the directions up here. It's going to have you do multiple things. And then when you're totally finished, then you're done. And then when you're finished anything on like a Google slide or a Google Doc assignment where it's like this, all you do is when you're finished and it's saving as you work automatically because it's Google, and you'll just close it and you'll go back to Canvas and it will save your assignment automatically. On this one, I don't think you should have to hit submit because there shouldn't be a submit button on this one. And then that's the last thing for today. We're going to do on Friday, we'll look at a few more things on Canvas, like I mentioned, like the mobile app, how to use the dashboard, which your dashboard. If you don't use the dashboard, it's actually pretty useful. So I'll click on mine. I'll show you all what mine looks like. So for me, I have all 4 of my current classes like up here at the top. Like I've moved them in the order that I want them to be. So because like if you look right here, I have 13 published courses. Like that's a lot. So some of you guys right now, y'all have 16 classes because you have 8 class periods and they still have all your first semester classes open. So you might have like a bunch of classes and some especially that you don't need. And so you can actually reorder things. And so we'll take a look at that if you don't know how to do that. But like for me, I have these are the 4 classes currently for this semester that I'm teaching. And so I have those up here so that I can access them more easily. And then I have underneath, like here's like first semester stuff. And then there's some other stuff that like I only use part of the time that's down there. But you can change the way this looks. There's these 3 dots. And so you can view different things. And so we're going to look at kind of a tutorial video next time where it shows you how to do that. It shows you how you can use that to help keep up with your work and keep up with your assignments and your due dates and things like that. So we'll take a look at that, the mobile app a little bit more, and then we're going to practice using the Adobe Scan app on Friday because I really, really, really want all of you guys to be using that if you're doing that file upload when you're uploading scans of notes or work. Because it's much easier for you to upload one PDF file and then me have one file to look at and grade than uploading like 3 and 4 and 8 and 20 photographs. Okay. So we're gonna practice doing that on Friday as well, so that we can use that going forward on some assignments. Okay. All right. Are there any questions right now?